Hello everyone. Hi, it's Joanna P. Grant here. I'm back for my blog. It's Thinking Out Loud, and interesting topic for us today. We're going to talk about briefly. So one of the questions that was emailed to me was, in the event that there is a couple or two people engaging in sexual activity and the girl gets pregnant, does the guy have the right to ask her to have an abortion? And my feelings on that. So. Um, okay. So, what I want to say is, I think that adults should be having sex. So, if you're not an adult, so if you're a young child experimenting, you shouldn't be doing this because sex is really an activity for adults because the consequences of said activity can lead to you going from a child to an adult in a split second. Okay? So, that being said, I don't think that any man has the right to tell any woman what to do with her body. That though being said, I mean, are you in a relationship? Are you not in a relationship? Like, I don't really know the true dynamics. Now, the person who presented this argument to me had said that they were not in a relationship, they were just having casual sex. And the girl got pregnant, and he doesn't want to be a father. And he wants her to have an abortion, and she's refusing to have one. So I'll throw that back at you now. So this is someone you're having casual sex with. Sex should never be taken casually, one, because of the consequences of that. I mean, baby's the least. There's also things like STDs and STIs, sexually transmitted diseases, sexually transmitted infections, okay? Some have cures, some don't, okay? So that's another thing that you want to consider. Now, I think that it's fair to have a conversation, sit down with the person who's pregnant and have a conversation about the future and what that looks like, what your expectations are, and what that looks like can be real, okay? What role you intend to play, if any, and what the expectations are, both of you back and forth having an open, honest dialogue without conflict and without animosity and not taking people's feelings personally. As a female, myself personally, I don't believe in abortion. So I don't, for myself, I wouldn't be having an abortion, but I've never really engaged in casual sex either. I just don't have sex just because. Like, that's never been my thing. So having a child, like, if I'm pregnant, I'm committed to bringing my kid, and I will raise my kid on my own if I want, if I need to, if that's what it comes down to. I've never had a problem doing that. That's me. You know, another female would be completely different. She may have the child with expectations that you're going to be around to help her just as much, or she may have the child and give the child up for adoption. Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, these are dialogues. Like, this is what happens as a result of unprotected sex. So, or even protected sex where protection fails. And this is why sex should never be something taken lightly or taken casually. Now, as for the men, I had this whole dialogue was also a conversation I kind of threw at my son and his friends because I like talking to them. There's so much fun talking to that generation. But anyways, one of the things that came out of that, and I had said to them, so I'm going to say this to all the mandem, okay, straight goods. Once you let out your sperm, it's gone. You have no control over that. You have no control over what it does. You have no control over where it ends up. And you definitely have no control over if it conceives or not. And if it does, you have no control over that outcome. Okay? So if you are unsure that this person you're going to lie down with and engage in sexual activity with is someone that you're unsure that you want to spend the rest of your life with, I would think long and hard about whether it makes any sense at all to even engage in activity. Because you know what? If you don't ever have sex, you don't miss it. Just know what I'm saying? It's not like if you don't do it, you're going to lose a limb. You're going to lose a breath. Your blood pressure is going to go up. You know, your hemoglobin is going to drop. Nothing detrimental will come out of it if you never have sex. There are so many forms of sex or so many means of getting sexual pleasure without actually engaging in the act of sex. And I guess I should have been specific in saying sex is vaginal penis sex. Okay? So penis in vagina sex and no other kind of sex. Okay, guys? So yeah, because that's the only way that conception can take place. So that being said, there are so many other ways that you could go about doing this where the risk of having a baby is minimal, non-existent, and none at all, right? But the actual vagina, penis entering vagina thing, once it happens, once you ejaculate, once that sperm is gone, you don't own it anymore. You have no claims to it. You cannot say nothing about it. So if you don't want to divulge and give up that power, just don't. Yes, yes, yes. I've heard the argument that there's a condom. I use a condom and the condom broke. But hey, she told me that she's using protection. Hey, there's nothing that's 100% foolproof. Nothing. She could have told you she was using protection and she lied. You could have used a condom and it broke, right? So again, better prevention, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So instead of trying to find this pound of cure, just use the ounce of prevention and just don't go there at all. Like casual loose sex, scrap it up, scrap it. If you're doing it, stop. And if you haven't engaged in it, don't even start because it's not worth the headache. Trust me. There's a lot of, because what ends up happening, and I've seen it and it happens, okay, is there are a lot of kids running around who don't know their father or their parents in a lot of turmoil and animosity because this is how their child was conceived, okay? And I mean, at the end of the day, it's someone's choice. If she wants to keep her child, she wants to keep her child. But when you make a decision that a man doesn't support, it's not uncommon to see the man take a left, do a, do their own thing. They choose not to engage in the parenting process. They definitely aren't going to support you when you're pregnant. They choose not to engage in the parenting process, and then you have kids running around, angry at the world because their father won't engage, and because all you had to do was take one simple little act and not do it all. So that's all I'm going to say for you guys today. Thank you so much. I loved the question. It was so interesting, quite entertaining. I always laugh at things like this. Again, ask Joanna P. Grant at gmail.com to email me any questions. Hit like below if you like the video. Subscribe, of course, always. And my social media is in the comments below. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you soon.